What is the biggest challenge that women are facing these days? What's the biggest problem that you're seeing in the not manosphere, women's spheres, if that's a term. Is that even a thing?
You want to start with?
Go.
I think women have immense pressure from every side pulling on them. I think they have the expectation to be highly educated, to be highly independent from men, to Rollo's point, to be hot, to be friendly, to prioritize their family. All of these different things, and I think it's a lot of different things that are pulling on women. They did a study. They found out that 56% of working women who have kids 18 and under would have preferred to stay home had been given the option. Right?
Say those numbers again.
56% of working women with kids 18
so more
and
than
under
half of women
would have preferred to stay home if given the option. So I think there's something to women that, like, man, and Jordan Peterson made the point of the biggest fall off in terms of women leaving is in executive law. When you start getting to higher levels of law, women check out, because if I'm married to a lawyer, which most lawyers are married to other lawyers, $200K a year versus $300, $500K, lifestyle change isn't that much different.
They don't go to college to find a husband anymore. They get a law degree to find a husband now.
So they exit out of that field. So I think there's so many different pressures on women to figure these things out. And I think some education is good. I think it's good to be educated. I think it's good to have some skills. But I think if your entire mentality is like, I'm going to be this bad, independent chick that's going to run everything, most men don't want that from most women. Most men want a wife that's flexible. Most men want a wife that will let them lead. Most men want a wife that's fit, healthy, and that is okay with. And again, there's outliers. There's outliers in situations. There's entrepreneurial women that are incredible and they're crushing it. And there's outliers, but most men also probably would want the woman to raise the kids and stay home with the kids. And we've done that. My wife came home 2014, right when we had our first kid, and she's been home ever since. She works from home. She does some stuff. She does all of our accounting. But I think that's still a very healthy model. And they've done the studies. I told you this. The family with 2 incomes nets less than the family with 1 breadwinner, which again goes back to financial independence. If as a man you can provide, I think you position yourself to be in a much more happy marriage, stable marriage, joyful marriage. And so I think there's a lot of pressure, man. And I would just say, who are you pulling from and who do you want to be? Same point.
Well, Rollo, you talk about this all the time, that men don't really care what women make because they don't share their money with men.
No, well, the number one precipitator of divorce is when a couple is making the same amount of money and the woman gets like a raise in pay. She gets a promotion at work, or she is boosted into a status, and also makes more money than the guy does.
That's in a marriage, you're saying.
The number one precipitator of divorce.
Are single or working women doomed for a lifetime of sadness because they're chasing the money?
Yes,
really?
You are. Yes, you are doomed. You're doomed to a lifetime. Statistically speaking, Morgan, not me.
Would you say career working women or just working women?
What's the difference? Right?
Well, career working women is that
it's the difference between a careerist and a job.
Exactly. Career is like, this is my priority. A man will come later. Kids will come later. A girl working, she's like, I got to pay my bills.
Yeah, there's a difference between a job and a career for women.
Exactly.
And the other, I should also add this, is that like we have sold, and I agree with you here, it's like we have sold women a bill of goods really since the sexual revolution, that you can have it all, baby, right? You don't need a man. You might want a man, but you don't even need a man to reproduce. Go down to the sperm bank, go down to the fertility clinic. You can have you don't even have to do that now. You can go on Facebook and find a sperm donor if you want to.
Chat.
Literally can do that. But so we have essentially, we want to talk about like making things convenient for women. In that sense, we have said we've made men superfluous right now, whether you're a father or whatever, until it's like, Father's Day and it's like, do better, dad, kind of thing. But we've made guys superfluous in the sense that like women don't see any point of getting with a guy who is either going to be an abuser, he's going to be a doofus like Homer Simpson, he's going to be incompetent. Yeah, we teach women that men are untrustworthy, that you can't depend on them for security. The number one thing, and this happened with you and
but
Allie.
They are if they cheat.
You just did what I was just about to say.
Hold that thought.
Just what I was about to say.
Quick poll, put this up there for our gentlemen out there.
Go ahead.
Would you rather have more of a housewife, traditional woman, or do you want a woman who's out there making money? If you could put that poll out there, I'd love to see the results.
Natalia, you
said housewife or what?
Housewife or working woman.
Okay.
Natalia, you just made my case for me. Okay, when Allie was on here and she did that one viral video,
Allie Drummond.
Allie Drummond. Yeah. She was talking about.
Shout out to Allie.
Yeah, when she was talking about like, I'm a traditional wife, I submit to my husband, blah blah blah. The number one complaint, it went viral, 4 million. God knows how high it was. The number one complaint complaint from women was, I would never want to do that because what if he left? What if he started banging his secretary? What if he got a trophy wife? What if? And it was all based on fear. As I said, fear is the most monetizable emotion of that humans.
Well, to be fair, though, men are statistically more likely to cheat than women.
Yes, true. But the thing is we've terrorized generations of women with the idea that if you don't have a career, if you don't have this, this will happen to you. And what happens is that fear is based on what's called the apex fallacy.
What's the alternative, though? Like you're against no-fault divorce laws, and you're against alimony. You're against a man marrying a woman.
Alimony, by the way, is a law that is a holdover. It's a vestige from the 1930s, from the Depression era.
Sure.
Just so we know.
I don't know how that's relevant, but what I'm saying is, if we have men who are leaving women. My dad left my mom. We were on welfare. I know we talk about the welfare state like it's this sexy thing. It was $650 a month.
Yeah, real sexy.
$650 a month. Our rent was $450 a month. I remember that as a child.
As a kid, you're saying.
As a kid.
Yeah.
We'd go without food, and my dad didn't pay a whole lot of child support. I think it was like $90 a month when he did pay. And again, props to my dad. I love my dad now. We're good. And I got to see some of his perspective on the other end. But what about like when men are hypergamous? What about when men abandon women? Because I've seen that.
That is the only narrative you hear. That is absolutely the only narrative you hear is the deadbeat dad. Like, for instance, like we especially every Father's Day, it's not Father's Day anymore. It's Special Persons Day right now.
Which that's nonsense.
But every you can get this in every church sermon. If you look at the difference between Mother's Day sermons and Father's Day sermons, Mother's Day is you're doing great, girl. We love you so much. You're doing the job of 10 men, and you don't need no man. You're just as good a father as you are as a mother. When Father's Day rolls around, the sermon is do better.
Rollo,
do better because you're not living up to your expectations, and it's constantly like that.
But isn't that a more masculine way to like get men to react?
That's why they're not in the church right now.
What would you tell a Natalia, or you said you have a 24-year-old daughter, the young women out there that are listening, what would your advice be for them? As far as like working, you made the distinction between having a job.
Your daughter's a PhD student.
No, she's got a master's.
She's got a master's.
But I mean, and she's getting married. Right?
The difference between a career and a job, and advice for women.
Well, so my point is this: is like I don't have a problem. Like people say, we talked about this on Jedediah again. We were talking about the repeal the 19th. Should we take away women's right to vote? I don't believe that we should. I think that women.
That's a thing now.
Well, it's been that way for a long. Dude,
repeal the women's.
Welcome to the MGTOW.
Who's advocating for that?
Doom pill, black pill, MGTOWs are advocating. So here's my point. I always think, okay, number one, that's untenable. Like that's never going to happen, period, because women are the largest voting bloc in the United States. Now, but beyond that point is, should women have the right to vote, right? Should they be the ones that are making decisions politically? You can talk about, what is a vote and what is not a vote as far as like, understanding electoral process. But the thing is this, is that I'm not against women participating in the government. I'm not interested. I don't care like what as far as access to opportunity. I hope my daughter has equal access to opportunity that she wants. However, and I have told her this, is that you are also responsible for the results of your decisions. Because right now, up to this point, really since the sexual revolution, women have wanted to live with the benefits of old order privileges of being a woman with new order privileges of also having been being a woman. So you have all of these. You have this decision to go and marry who you want to, but guess what? That might have been the wrong choice for you, or abortion for that matter as well. It's like you had sex with this guy, and now you have the baby, and it's not his decision to abort the baby. It's your decision. It's not about what happened before that. It's about you get to decide whether that child lives or dies. That right there is a result of this idea that we can forgive women of their absolve them of the bad decisions so that they have a fail-safe in many different ways. Abortion happens to be a fail-safe, but it's also it's not that I don't think women should have choice. They need to own the results and the consequences of those choices. And right now, we don't do that. There's a separate standard of justice for women.
So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another. Or if you want to watch the entire Saucecast, click right here.